So you have a broken dual pane glass and you're trying to figure out how to measure it. Well, in this video, I'm going to explain to you how to measure your dual pane glass. I'm going to focus on the two most common windows, plastic windows, vinyl windows, whatever you want to call them, and aluminum frame windows. These are a little bit older. All the new windows are plastic. I mean, there's fiberglass, there's a few more, but these are the most common ones. Your plastic window and aluminum frame window. So, and the number one question I get asked is, where do you order dual pane glass? Well, problem solved. There's a company you can order glass online. I will put a link in the description below. Very simple process, very simple website to use. You put your dimensions of the glass, you put your sizes, your width and height. Then you choose the glass type, the overall thickness of the glass, your spacer, and if the glass has grids, put your grid dimensions in, and you place your order. This is how you typically measure for grids. You always count these squares across left to right and count them down. 1, 2, 3. So it would be 3 across and 3 down. And you always want to measure the width of the grid. Typical grid would be 5/8 of an inch. Also specify the color of the grid on your order. Another thing is the spacer color. This is the most common spacer color. It's just aluminum color. This is what your typical dual pane glass consists of. You got 2 panes of glass, spacer in between, and they use special butyl glue to glue the glass together. The most common type of glass is clear. Newer windows use low E glass. You can see it's a little darker. There's actually a piece of low E glass. Almost has a greenish purplish tint to it sometimes on the outside. It's very common in newer windows. It reflects a lot of heat in the summertime, but if you have an older window, most likely you have clear glass in it. All right, so this is how you measure a typical plastic window. The easiest way is to measure what you can see, the glass part. So you go right here. Technically it's 1 inch add, but you want to be on the safe side sometimes because windows warp, settle. So if you add 7/8, we will have plenty of coverage with the glass and you're not going to have any problems putting the glass in. So here we go. We've got 13.5. You add 7/8, so your width of this glass will be 14 3/8. You do the same thing for your height, and this reads 30 1/8. So your glass size will be 31 inches. And you can take the measurements from inside of the window or outside of the window. It doesn't matter. It's all going to be the same. The easiest way to measure the overall thickness of the glass is to use a caliper. It looks something like this. The end of mine broke. Put a link in the description where to buy it. Put it right over the window frame and it'll give you a reading right here. The other way to measure it is you can always pop the glazing bead off with something flat. It will get the edge of the glass exposed, and you take something flat, even a piece of paper, and you stick it between the glass all the way into the frame. Take a pen or a pencil and you can draw a line on your piece of paper or a tool. Then you pull this out and you measure the distance to your line you just drew. This is what the glass looks like inside the frame. You're always supposed to have setting blocks so the glass doesn't sit on the frame. It just sets on these setting blocks. And the main key to your measurement, you want to have about an 1/8 inch gap all the way around the glass so it's not touching the frame when you're putting the glass in. On to the next, older window styles, aluminum frame. So these are a little bit different. Concept is the same. You take the measurements of what you can see, the glass part, and you only add 3/4 of an inch in this case. So 27, your glass size will be 27 3/4. Do the same thing on your height. Look at the edge of the frame So this is 31 and 3/8, so we're adding 3/4 of an inch, so your glass size will be 32 and 1/8. With these type of windows, you have a rubber gasket that wraps the glass, and this frame goes over the glass. There's 4 pieces of the frame. They're all connected with a screw in a corner. So each corner has a screw. The easiest way, again, to measure the overall thickness of the glass is to use a tool that goes over the glass. There you go. It'll give you a reading, the overall thickness of the glass. If you're not 100% sure, you can always take the frame apart. Remove the corner screw and pull the frame off the glass. This will expose the glass. This way you can take the overall accurate overall glass thickness measurement, and actually, since you're going to be able to see the edges of the glass, you're going to be able to take the exact size of existing glass. Now, in most cases, you should be able to reuse this gasket. So make sure you just put it back over the glass. You need a mallet, or you can use a hammer, but use a wood block or nylon block to pound the frame back on. This is how it goes back on. You see the edge of the gasket? All right, if you have any questions, let me know. But let's go over this one more time. Vinyl or plastic windows. You measure your daylight, what you can see at 7/8. Aluminum window frame, older style frames. You measure your daylight, what you can see, and add 3/4 of an inch. Get your overall thickness of the glass. Determine what type of glass you need, what color spacer you need. That's in between the glass, if your glass has grids or not. And you can go ahead and place an order online. The website's link is down below. And once again, thanks for watching.